We're back. This time we're going to be looking at the Bajoran Ratosha. So we'll get right in and check it out. There's our Bajoran Scout class ship dial. Same one that we had for the previous Cheese Wedge of Doom. Here we have our Bajoran Scout ship. You can see the maneuverability, really nice. That 2 white come about is extremely nice on there. Not a very speedy ship, topping out at 4, but makes up for it in the 1 and 2 turns. And I like the fact that there's not a single red maneuver on the dial, which is kind of nice as well. There we have our named Ratosha. Not sure if it's Ratosha or Ratosha, but Bajoran faction. 2 attack, 2 agility, 3 hull, 2 shield. Pretty nice for a smaller ship. 2 crew slots for 18 points. You have evade, target lock, scan, and battle stations. And the special ability is after you move, if your ship's within range 1 of a friendly ship, you can perform battle stations as a free action. Always nice. There's our generic. You lose 1 shield and you lose 1 crew slot for 16 points. For our captains, we have Crim. Captain skill is 6, 1 elite talent for 4 points. He adds 1 crew upgrade slot to your bar. And his ability is when defending during the modified defense dice step, you may reroll 1 of your defense dice for every damage card assigned to your ship, up to a maximum of 3 dice. Kinda nice in certain situations, maybe cross-faction or on a ship that only has 3 hull. The fact that you're getting rerolls after you've already taken damage isn't really going to help you all that much. But definitely useful in certain situations. Next we have Canu. Captain skill 4, 3 points. When attacking with your primary weapon during the roll attack dice step, you may set 1 of your attack dice on the result of your choice. If you do so, place an auxiliary power token beside your ship. This die cannot be rolled or re-rolled during the round you use this ability. Being able to set it to a crit, always a nice thing. At the cost of an auxiliary power token, really isn't all that detrimental to this ship. You're doing it during the attack dice step, so you've already taken your action for the turn, so there's no loss there. The fact that the ship has no red maneuvers on its dial, it's pretty easy to pull a green maneuver in the next turn and clear that auxiliary power, so you can effectively use that every turn if you really wanted to, and still get an action step, which is nice. Next we have Jaro Essa. Captain skill of 2, 1 elite talent for 1 point. His ability is to discard 1 of your Bajoran crew upgrades to perform this action. Each time you defend this round during the roll defense dice step, roll 2 additional defense dice. Can only be purchased for a Bajoran ship. Kind of an interesting guy. Don't see him getting used all that much as a captain, but he is also an admiral. And if you use him as the admiral, of course, that becomes a fleet action. He gives you a +1 to your captain skill, which is nice. Then it becomes a lot more useful of an ability, I think. And last we have our generic Bajoran captain. Captain skill of 1 for 0 points. We have 2 elite talents this time around. The first one is more than meets the eye. Apparently Bajorans are Autobots. It's 1 point. And you may discard this card to place a scan token beside your ship, even if there's one already there. You cannot perform a scan action as a free action during the round you use this ability. Double scan comes in handy. There's very few ways in the game to get it, so can't knock that. 1 point in discard, I'm okay with. Definitely can make or break depending on the time you use it during the game. Next one we have is Provisional Government. It's 5 points. As an action, you discard this card to target a ship at range 1 to 3. You cannot attack that ship, and that ship cannot attack you this round. And it comes with reminder tokens. Cannot attack. Per use of Provisional Government. Kind of a nice ability. Anything that negates attacks is nice. Definitely has uses here and there. 5 point discard. I've expressed my disappointment in those in the past, but it could save you in a certain situation. Next up for crew cards, we have Bajoran Militia. There's actually 3 copies of Bajoran Militia that come with this. There's 3 points. During the combat phase, add a number of attack dice equal to the number of Bajoran Militia assigned to your ship. Maximum +3 until the end phase. This upgrade can only be purchased for a Bajoran ship. Now the nice thing about these, they give you the 3. You can put 3 of these on your ship. Takes up all your crew slots. Actually, your crew slots plus the extra one granted by Crim if you're using him as your captain. But you get that +3 attack dice, which is just really, really disgusting. And it's a cost of an action, but it's definitely worth it in this case. They're not disables, they're not discards, which is really what makes them nice. And they come with the reminder tokens for +1, +2, and +3, depending on how many you have on board your ship, for use with Bajoran Militia. Definitely an interesting card. The 3 of them in combo, granted they're 3 points apiece, but reusable extra attack dice is something that is much needed on a ship that only has a 2 primary attack and no secondary weapon slots. And last we have Assault Vessel Upgrade. This one's probably one of the cooler ones in the pack. Very useful card. It doesn't actually have a slot type, and we'll get to that in a second. For 4 points, you may fill any slot on your upgrade bar with this upgrade. So you can take any slot. Now granted, this will take one of your crewman slots, so it's one less Bajoran Militia you can take. But it's worth it in that it gives your primary weapon and shield values a +1, which is always nice. Can only be purchased for Bajoran scout ships, and no ship can be equipped with more than 1. So this is the only ship it can go on. I think it can also go on the Dominion War OP prize ship for, I want to say it was month 6. It was pretty much the same ship as this, different named. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but so you can only use this on this ship or that one. But the +1 weapon and shield values are nice. And the fact that it doesn't require an action, doesn't require a disable or anything. 4 points, you're basically paying for the extra primary and the extra shield. They cost 2 points apiece on a normal model, so it isn't really costing you anything to get it to make your ship into a better ship. So the rest of the stuff that comes with the expansion, we have our 2 shield tokens, crit and auxiliary. There's a battle stations, evasive maneuver, and scan token. You have a disable token. You have a target lock 02 this time. There are various reminder tokens for the different upgrades. I have an additional rules card for our Admiral. I'm not even going to go into detail on them. We've been over Admirals a lot of times, so you can check one of the previous videos for that. We have our fleet action and the Admiral token to show he's on the ship. The mission this time around is Siege, based on the episode where a Bajoran faction basically came to take over DS9. In this one you have 30 points of Federation against 90 points of Bajorans with at least one of these ships. And you have the planet Bajor, and then the mission token there is supposed to represent DS9. And the idea is that you're going to go and try to take over the station. Every turn it takes, the Federation players get more and more reinforcements on the station to resist your attack. Kind of an interesting one. Always nice to have more missions. A little disappointed in the fact that he uses the mission token to represent DS9 instead of having a small punch out or whatever of DS9. There was a Klingon expansion that came out in like Wave 1 that actually had a miniature DS9 token that punched out. So you could always use that for it as well, or if you're really feeling adventurous, the actual DS9 model if you have one, just to make it more thematic. But I find they're kind of slacking off on the components for missions, which is kind of disappointing. Really used to like when you got everything you needed. There was even a mission for a one of the Vulcan ships from Enterprise where you actually got this ice comet, and instead of using a generic mission token, they even gave you a new mission token that had that on it. So a little disappointed in that end of it. The model itself is the same ship that we got for the OP prize from the Dominion War. As I mentioned in that video, it's been used in Star Trek as various ships throughout the years. It wasn't until DS9, of course, that it became a Bajoran ship. There was an episode of TNG where it was crashed on a planet and used as a ship where the whole crew had died except for like one person. And there were holographic crewmen trying to raise this girl. But anyway, it's a nice model. Lots of paneling and detail work there. As always, there's not a very good paint job, so you're going to need a wash or something to really bring out the detail in those panels. We kindly refer to it here as the cheese wedge of doom. And there's our base for the named. Just a 90-degree arc of fire to the front. And the generic. Overall, it's a nice little ship. I like to look at things as what they come in as an expansion. If you were to play this just by itself with the cards that came with it, it's a very solid little ship for its points cost. If you were to play it in faction with other Bajoran ships, definitely complements the other scout ship and the interceptors that the Bajorans already have. Looking at it from a mixed faction perspective, it's a little fragile for what it is. There are some nice upgrades in here that can be used elsewhere. The big limitation is the really good upgrades, like the Bajoran Militia and the Assault Vessel upgrade, can only be used by other Bajoran ships, so you're limited to that. Still, all in all, it's a decent ship. Nothing must have in here unless you're a collector or if you're looking to build a Bajoran fleet, in my opinion. That said, this combines really nice with the Dominion War OP prize ship and the interceptors to make quite a mean little faction for the Bajorans. And if you wanted to go one step farther, if you mix the Maquis in there, the two factions together just make a really annoying little fleet. And I can't wait to get myself some more interceptors because I really want to run a swarm of those alongside the two scout ships and see how annoying that can be as well. Anyway, that is it for this one, and I'll see you in the next video.